Now I understand SBI is as nimble-footed as some of the private sector peers. Your processing time has dramatically improved. Can you take us through?
For all purposes, from the year 2011 onwards, we have actually significantly improved our processes in terms of the centralization of the processing. Initially, we used to have about 150 odd centers from where we used to process the housing loan for almost about 20,000 plus branches. So today we have come to a situation where we have now got almost 400 centers spread across the country, and from where we are doing the housing loan sanctions. And also it's a centralization in terms of the sanctioning, disbursement, documentation, disbursement. So everything is now centralized across the country.
The subject is housing for all, and how do we add to the resilience of the Indian mortgage market. It's globally, it's a very loan to GDP ratio, loan to mortgage ratio in India is the lowest, 11%, right? This is the market and this is the segment which can really play in a very, very, very positive role to our ambition of growing economy to 5 trillion, becoming third largest economy. So what other things need to be done?
I think the formalization of economy is something which has really helped this sector to grow. The kind of challenges which normally a financier face is essentially relating to the digitization of the title records. Many of the states have done it, but some have yet to do it. So that is something which is the first and the foremost. Then, of course, there is always an effort on the part of any lender to look at the EMI, NMI ratios so that the borrower should not be over leveraged. What we have seen is that in the formal sector, there is perhaps not much of challenges, but in the informal sector, there are challenges, and that is one of the reasons why perhaps the housing finance companies are in a position to take a call in terms of the imperfect documents or inadequacy of the title deed, or maybe availability of the very clear record in terms of the land and title deed. So I think that is one of the major challenge which we face. And of course, I would say the RERA has, of course, brought in a lot of discipline in this particular sector. So when it comes to housing for all and the government initiative in terms of PMAY went a long way in terms of making it a reality for many. So I think this is something which works very well. The other model which of course we have seen is in Singapore, where almost about 80% of the land ownership is with the government, and they can decide in terms of where what should come up, and that gives a very clear visibility in terms of the title deeds. The second aspect is that they are using something comparable to our EPFO for extending loans. There are some lessons to learn from them, but of course we will have to probably create a solution which is typical for the Indian situation.
The budget already happened. That's an interim budget. We'll see the full-fledged budget post the elections, etc. But is there any scope for fiscal incentives, tax incentive, etc., to pump up the sector?
I think much of it will depend upon how the GOI will look at it at the time of the final budget. But yes, of course, I certainly feel that there could be a scope for giving some incentive so that homeowners are also encouraged. Because the other piece is that though HRA or the rent is deductible in terms of the tax, but as far as the home loan installments are interest on the home loan is concerned, that has probably, it can be revisited, though of course it is allowable as an incentive. But yes, of course, over the period of time when it was last looked into, maybe there could be a scope for revisiting this aspect.
Can you give us some sense, like 7 trillion plus that your home loan portfolio, is it predominantly retail, or is there any segment which is also LAP there, or the developers?
We hardly have any LAP for individual and LAP for corporate all put together would not be more than 2-3% in all. So it is all pure play mortgage loans or maybe housing loans, and for the retail sector.
But overall, being the country's largest bank, people say that now the elephant is dancing. Is it to the tune of AI and analytics? What's
Yeah,
the
of course, we have started leveraging the database which we have. It was quite a static database for many, many years. But now we have created various algorithms, and we are running those algorithms on our database, which actually helps us in honing our risk management practices. Apart from that, it also helps us in terms of identifying the potential customers whom we should reach out for offering our various products and services. And on the top of it, it also helps us in offering the customer what they're looking for. So that is something which we have started doing. And happy to share that today, with the help of analytics only and through our platform, we are underwriting more than 1 trillion worth of assets.
PM recently announced that about 1 crore solar rooftop,
Yes.
right? 10 million solar rooftop. So can you tell us like how SBI or the entire banking system would approach this?
This is going to be a big game changer. 1 crore solar rooftop. I'm sure we have already seen the adoption of this in a big way in 2 states. One is in Gujarat, the other one is in Kerala, where this has been adopted. And what we have seen is that a very well integrated approach with the state government, various functionaries, and also the DISCOMs has actually made it happen. So I'm quite hopeful, and I perceive that it's a very promising scheme, and we as bankers would be very happy to look at it in whatever way we can contribute for making it a success.
Because you can give home loan at a much lower rate, but your target audience is different, the salaried class, etc., etc. And NBFCs need to have those target. I mean, those are, I would say, on the risk parameter will be slightly risky, and they would charge the higher rates because they don't have the advantage of CASA, what the savings bank and the current accounts which the banking system has. So, is this the architecture for Indian mortgage market? Will it continue, or do you think some kind of disruption, it can be approached in a different way?
No, I think, as I mentioned, that if at all there is the increasing credibility of the land records and also the certainty of the income streams, will certainly boost the confidence. And invariably nowadays, we are also evaluating the credit scores of the borrowers, because that is something which captures the unstructured piece very well. So we are evaluating, not that we are only confining to the salaried class. We are looking at some threshold level when it comes to the credit scores. And if at all the borrower has got those credit scores, we are extending them the interest rate benefit also. And also we are very happy lending to such customers.
Post Lehman crisis, I think SBI got into this teaser loan where the first 2 years it will be a very low rate and then go up and all. So you keep on experimenting, innovating. Is there any kind of innovation we can expect from SBI in the mortgage market?
No, those are the early days when we started. We started getting into the mortgage market. That was the point of time when it was felt that in 10 years' time, all these borrowers will have a higher income and their ability to repay will be much higher. So as against that, what we have observed is that nowadays, on and average, the average duration of such loan book is just about 8 years or so. So I think we are encouraging people to go for the second home loan. We are encouraging people to go for the upgradation of their homes. So we are extending credit facilities, so all such kind of things also. So these are the add-ons which we keep on offering.
NIM is coming under pressure, CASA is going down, credit to deposit ratio is going up. For many of the banks, it's 100% plus. Reserve Bank of India has been talking about it and all. So what's happening?
So I think this is the new paradigm which we are moving into. As we are moving into the developed market, the financial markets becomes more and more efficient. And that is what it will probably operate at very thin liquidity levels also.
So nothing to be worried about. The banking system's
so.
Good run will continue.
No, see,
in terms of quality of assets as well as the credit growth.
I think as far as quality of assets are concerned, all banks are quite cognizant, and they have put in place enough mechanisms on ground to have better underwriting and also to ensure that the quality is maintained in terms of the recovery efforts.
And credit growth?
Credit growth, I am quite hopeful that I normally believe that it is linked with the macro, and macro is poised very well in terms of the growth opportunities. So with that, the credit growth should continue to do well.
Your deposit growth is good enough to support credit?
Yeah, very much. We have last quarter also we have grown. The gap between the two is just about 1%, but the fact remains that on the deposit side we are at about 47 trillion, on the loan side at about 36 trillion. So we are having a sufficient. There is no challenge, and on the top of it, we still have excess liquidity in terms of SLR to the tune of about 3 trillion in the system. So we are very well placed in terms of.
And your credit deposit ratio, sir?
Credit deposit ratio as on December was 66%.
66%.
Yes.
Oh, there's
And
a lot
also
of scope
we have got a liquidity coverage ratio of more than 130%.
Oh,
So we are very well placed in terms of supporting the growth initiatives of the economy.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.